Hello, and welcome to the first episode of The Legend of Zelda 1. As part of my New Year's resolutions this year, I am playing through the entire Zelda series in chronological order, so of course you have to begin with Zelda 1. I will admit that personally I don't have a ton of memories of playing this game. I didn't really play it as a kid, but it's going to be interesting to see how the series began. So let's jump in. Everybody knows you gotta go down here and get the sword. It's dangerous to go alone. So we're gonna get our sword. I want to be clear that I'm trying not to cheat. I am allowing myself the use of a map, which would have come with the cartridge back in the 1980s. And I am also allowing myself the use of turbo buttons on my Xbox controller, which will just stop me from wearing out my controller. And I've just lost my first heart. So, the first heart in this game can really make or break you. The sword beams are a huge advantage, so you really don't want to not have those hearts. But that's where I'm at, so unless this guy gives us a fairy, then we're going into this dungeon with one heart. Let's see how it goes. So again, I'm not going to pretend to be a complete stranger to these games, but compared to a lot of the ones we'll play further down, I'm not very familiar with Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. And in fact, they're probably going to be some of the... Actually, not some of. I think Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 will be the two toughest completions of this 19-game playthrough, so it's kind of good that we're starting with them, so I'm fresh and have the sort of capacity to do it. I really find it interesting playing these early dungeons and just the game itself, and how many of the enemies have hung around since the very beginning. Like, a lot of the sort of strange enemies that could have very easily just been one-shots, like Octoroks. There, I got my sword beam back. That'll be a big help in completing this dungeon, especially when we get to the boss. And of course, now that I have full hearts, now I'm getting the fairy that would have been super useful. I don't really know what this clock does. It looks like maybe it's giving me invincibility, or maybe it's would have slowed down all the enemies in the room or something. This is the compass, so I believe that's telling me where the boss room is. But before we get those, even though in this first Zelda game, they don't really make you collect the dungeon items the way they do in later Zelda games. That really became a thing in Link to the Past, where it started to sort of be that almost one of the keys of the dungeon was to pick up the dungeon item. And that would help you, that would let you sort of progress. This game does not make you pick up all the items, but we're probably going to anyway, because Zelda 1 is not a very long game, and we might as well see everything it has to offer. I think this is a block pushing puzzle. Eastmost Peninsula is the secret. So, oh! Shouldn't have done that. So I guess we'll look out for an Eastmost Peninsula, and there'll be a secret there. This game doesn't do much for dialogue, but it's worth noting that, like, in its time, even having something like that was a lot for a game like this. Many games would have absolutely no dialogue whatsoever. If you play something like Mario Brothers, for example, all it really gives you is your princess is in another castle. There's no hints or clues or anything like that. So it is kind of neat that Zelda does try to give you that to varying degrees of success, I would say. And I think in Zelda 2 we'll see a lot more of that, where you get even more cryptic and strange clues. as to what you're supposed to do. So I think in this dungeon I'm going to get the boomerang, but I don't know for sure. That puzzle is as old as time. Well, this is literally probably the first time you see it in the Zelda series, but we'll see it many times again. The finding the pushable block. That was the bow. I guess it's not the boomerang that we find here, although I would have sworn that it is. I'm not going to bother equipping the bow because in this game you shoot rupees, and I'm absolutely going to accidentally shoot all of my money, so we're going to try to avoid doing that. Okay, so I think pretty much all there is left for us to do now is to make our way to the boss room. We have one key left to open that door. I have been killing all the enemies in every room, so if there are secrets for killing them, most of the rooms in this game, as I understand it, will be gated behind either kill... Oh! There's the boomerang. So I guess they give you 2 items in this dungeon, which is kind of strange. Oh, and I got some wall masters chasing after me here. Okay, now you're gonna watch me get absolutely demolished by this dragon thing. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't know what it is. Ooh, not bad. Piece of heart. And here's my first Triforce piece. So that's the end of our first episode. Next episode we'll do Dungeon 2, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, if anybody did. And we'll catch you next time.